In this video, I'm going to describe and go through 5 points why Bitcoins is not actually a centralized currency, and it's basically failed as a project. I don't think it's the intention of what Satoshi Nakamoto actually wanted to do. So I'm going to go through a few points here and I'm going to demonstrate exactly why. So the first one is when Bitcoin, and I've been around in the Bitcoin space for a long, long time, literally when it was the days of the faucets giving out 5 Bitcoins for free, those were the days I was in. So I've watched it evolve over time and I was fascinated. I told all my friends at university about it. So it was made to be mined on your PC. And now it was very complex to actually mine on your PC. I didn't know how to set up my wallet. So I was getting Bitcoins and they were getting lost all over the place. Yeah. So it was made to be mined from your PC or any computer. Yeah. Now it's evolved to where it's not even worth it to mine by your PC. Um, you can't actually mine it. To be honest, because you just end up burning through your PC before you even get a block or at least a share, even if you're in a large pool. So, really and truly, how is it decentralized when not anyone can jump on it? You need to be spending thousands and thousands of pounds on, equipment. Even then, the block size is increasing over time. So, the Bitcoin blockchain grows by X amount. I think it's 1 megabyte per block. So, as the chain grows over time, there's only going to be a handful. I think in about 2 years, there's only going to be a handful of organizations that can actually compute the power that is needed to actually mine Bitcoin. So that gets rid of everyone. Yeah. And the second point is the unbanked. So you hear a lot of talk about, oh, Bitcoin's going to bring so much to the unbanked people. Oh, it's going to go get everyone out of poverty and all that. How, when Bitcoin is so expensive? If you go to an exchange, like one of the lowest exchanges in terms of fees, is Binance. Now, if you don't have a bank account, you can't make a Binance account. So how do you get access to Bitcoins? You can use faucets and you can use other things, but how are you getting access to Bitcoin when the supply of Bitcoin is controlled by the miners? So they can hold and the exchanges are holding. So I'll show you very quickly here. Binance have $10 billion worth of Bitcoin, and that's the Bitcoin and Binance cold wallet. Bitfinex cold wallet as well. They control the supply of Bitcoin. If they dump this, the market's finished. If they dump 10% of that, the market's finished. Yeah. These wallets we don't know about. This is, it's all full of exchanges. Yeah. These are probably miners. Or, bringing me to my third point, is how on earth can some institutions come along and buy up all the supply of Bitcoin? Do you know these miners actually are paying directly? So they've got a deal, it's sort of off chain. They don't go to exchanges, they go to these institutions and they say, and I use the word institutions loosely because it's individuals as well. Let's say as soon as the block is mine, we'll buy it straight away. Don't dump it on the market. So they get exclusivity. Sometimes they get a wholesale discount and stuff like that. So how is access to everyone else going to be done? Yeah. If that's the case, they're controlling the supply. It becomes a monopoly. It doesn't become a position where anyone can jump into it. The days when Bitcoin could have been mined from the PC, that was the original plan. So anybody can jump on. You might say, oh, someone without an internet connection can't jump on. Well, then they probably don't have online banking, then they probably don't live in a place where they actually care about currency as a whole. So, bringing me to my fourth point is coders. So, who's actually working on the Bitcoin network? How easily are these people influenced? Who's funding it? These are the things that everyone has a price and everyone can get brought. I don't think it's the case of Bitcoin or the miners really care about it. Those days are gone. Those people have gone on to other projects as well. So I genuinely think the fifth point being the environmental impact of Bitcoin is used as an excuse, yeah, to sort of hand over the power. So Bitcoin as a whole, and I'm still a massive fan of Bitcoin and technology, but I would never invest in Bitcoin at this stage just because I know it's been hijacked. It's, when a company can come along and buy up all the supply, literally, there's nothing else on the market. That's why you saw that massive price rush because everyone was like, I want to buy Bitcoin, but I can't. So there was only a handful of people dumping. Yeah. There's probably going to be a time where they're going to try and retrieve all the lost bitcoins. Someone's going to figure out how to do it, and that's going to be the main sort of focus, and that's going to be the cheapest way when it becomes more profitable to do that. That's going to be the way to sort of look at Bitcoin as a whole. Do I think Bitcoin is decentralized? Yeah, the technology is, but everything outside of it isn't, and it affects Bitcoin heavily. So if there's people in, third world countries or undeveloped countries that want to get involved in bitcoins, they have no access to it. They can't mine it. They certainly can't buy it because their currency is so weak. So how on earth are we going to get all this money to Bitcoin? And they're saying, oh, it's a store of value. Well, who detects the value of it? Um, if there's only institutions, it just becomes like gold. Not many people can afford it. People end up with a small amount of it. I would love to know everyone's thoughts on this and if I've raised some valid points. If you have any questions, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. But in my opinion, Bitcoin, yeah, it hasn't fulfilled the white paper. It was meant to be a peer-to-peer lending protocol, and everyone's saying it's a store of value now. How can it go from what was originally done, yeah, by the founders, and everyone suddenly labeled it as a store of value? They only labeled it as a store of value because it didn't fulfill its original purpose, and that was the way to sort of manipulate the market and the money. It's a $1 trillion asset, or it was at one stage. Yeah, it should have been used as a currency, and it's very disappointing to a lot of people, and this is why Bitcoin was forked. This is why there's so many other people making other cryptocurrencies, because Bitcoin's been hijacked and they've made it proper decentralized, a lot of these currencies, so it can't be affected. If Bitcoin doesn't move to proof of stake, it's completely dead. Like, it's irrelevant. It's going to drop down like all the other companies. It's going to fall off like everything else has. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I've raised some valid points. If you have any questions, please let me know.